The difference between a bad stylized world and a believable one is how well everything blends together. And this technique completely changed the way I build environments in UE5. I wanted to create a stylized environment that feels colorful, readable and alive, while still keeping a strong sense of natural cohesion across the entire landscape. The main goal wasn't simply building a beautiful scene, but creating an environment where every system contributes to make the world feel connected. Stay until the end of the video, because I am about to reveal the real secret to achieving an AAA quality open world environment. The main base behind this map is Runtime Virtual Texturing. Instead of treating terrain and vegetation as separate elements, the vegetation samples information directly from the landscape and inherits its color variation. This allows grass and foliage to naturally absorb the tones of the ground beneath them, creating much smoother transitions and helping the world feel like a single ecosystem rather than individual assets placed on top of a terrain. As I move through the environment, you can notice how vegetation shifts naturally across different areas. Warm orange regions blend into colder grass fields, and each biome maintains a consistent visual identity while still feeling part of the same world. The rocks create a natural corridor and the player is visually guided through, before reaching more open environments. If every area is wide open, exploration starts feeling flat. Compressing space and then opening it back up helps create a stronger sense of progression. The vegetation here also becomes denser and more layered, helping the environment feel more organic. Rivers are naturally great compositional tools because they already create movement. Instead of forcing visual direction artificially, the water itself guides the eye through the scene. I also try to make the environment feel as if the terrain had been shaped by the river over the time, rather than simply placing a water mesh into an existing space. I wanted this area to feel calmer and softer. Compared to the rocky, heavy sections, the flowers create a lighter mood and introduce a strong variation into the landscape. The color palette becomes the primary storytelling element here. Rather than relying on architecture or props, the atmosphere comes mostly from color relationship between the vegetation, sky and terrain. This scene focuses more on movement and flow. The grass follows the terrain shapes and creates natural directional patterns across the landscape. One thing I wanted to avoid was making vegetation feel procedural. To help with this, I mixed different grass shapes and densities so the terrain changes visually as you move through it. Even subtle variation can dramatically affect how natural an environment feels. For this biome, I wanted a stronger contrast in mood. The warm orange vegetation and twisted roots creates a more exotic atmosphere, almost suggesting a place with a different ecosystem compared to the greener regions of before. The path gently guides the eye toward the distance, while the rock formations and vegetation frame the journey. I tried to create a sense of movement and curiosity, making the viewer naturally wonder what lies ahead. The water, the fallen logs, distant structures, and open sky all worked together to give the environment room to breathe. Composition here follows a more classic landscape approach. Foreground elements create depth, the middle ground carries the environmental storytelling, and the distant structures become visual landmarks. Introducing ruins was important because the environment needed moments of contrast. Most of the world is built around organic forms, grass, rocks, water and vegetation. Adding architectural elements immediately creates visual tension. Even simple structures can suggest history and make the world feel larger than the camera actually shows. For the final view, I wanted to bring everything together. This shot shows how all systems overlap and interact. Terrain blending, vegetation transitions, landmarks, water and stylized assets all working together. The goal of the project was not realism. Instead, I wanted readability, atmosphere, and a world that feels visually cohesive from both close and distant viewpoints. At the end, what matters most isn't any individual asset or technical system, but how all these elements come together to support exploration and create a place that feels believable in its own stylized language.